Starks have one big thing in common with the Targaryens, and that is that they like to overuse the same name over and over and over again. Except instead of that name being Aegon, it is of course Brandon over here. Bran for short. Just like the Targaryens with Aegon, Brandon being so common amongst the Starks causes some issues. Namely, you never know which Brandon you're talking about because there are hundreds. And while this is a fun nod to, the historical royal families of it all, George loves to do that, and that is why names get repeated so often, because that's what happens in history. But if you combine that with the fact that we've been waiting for books for a very long time, some very interesting theories have started to pop up. And by very interesting, I mean unhinged as shit. One that plagues us is the one that this person mentioned in this comment, which they have called the Grand Unified Brand Theory. And I gotta say, I do love the name. But the Grand Unified Brand Theory is essentially that all the brands throughout history are the same Brandon. All of them. Every time you've named a child a Stark Brandon, it has become one Brandon. And by one Brandon, I mean this Bran over here. Basically, the idea is that all the Brandons throughout history, especially the famous ones who all did important things in regards to the Long Night, in association with being a Stark, that they were all the same being, that they were Bran over here, basically body jumping in time periods over and over again and getting all the shit done. For example, the most famous Brandon of them all is the first one, Bran the Builder. Bran the Builder is the Stark who is responsible for building the wall. And he's also been credited with building a bunch of other shit, possibly the High Tower and just shit. He builds shit. He's Bran the Builder. You fucking get it, okay? I don't need to elaborate. It's in the name. It's self-explanatory, okay? I'm fine. I'm not tired. Now, I think this theory is interesting. Just, the idea being okay, so Brandon through the Weirwood network when he goes to, visit the Three-Eyed Raven, the Three-Eyed Crow rather in the books. But, the Three-Eyed Crow, Brynden Rivers, Bloodraven, he is in a tree. He has become one with the tree. Because he went beyond the wall, he found the children of the forest, and apparently he slept up against the tree and then woke up and was like, oh, I am tree now. I'm one with the tree is with me, I'm one with the tree is with me. But Weirwoods are magical and shit, so if you are a greenseer, which is, a warg, a skin changer where you can jump into other animals and stuff, if you're a greenseer though, you were supercharged, so you can jump into the tree. Again, the tree is important. But this is, important because Weirwoods don't die. Once you plant a Weirwood, as long as you don't cut it down or do shit to it, it's going to live there forever. And so the Weirwood trees act as this network through time, which is how the Three-Eyed Raven, Bran are able to see, into the past. Because they're literally using these trees that have been here for a fuck ton of time to hop into that time period of the tree and look out at shit. So with this in mind, can we assume that, there are Weirwoods that are that old that Bran over here could use to go back to the time of Bran the Builder? Yes. Where I get a little confused is the whole body jumping bit of it all. Because, okay, so he used tree to go back in time, but then from tree he then jump into person? Because that's what I'm assuming. It's if it's one consciousness, how is it happening? And then, of course, there's the issue of, not all the brands are important. I'm sorry. If the Grand Unified Brand Theory is that Bran is all the brands, I'm sorry, but Bran the 222nd who, lived until he was 18 and then died on a toilet, I don't think he's important, but he's Bran in this theory. You see what I'm saying? Why? I suppose this theory isn't here for the logic of it all, so I'm being nitpicky. Ooh, what a shock, Ronnie's being nitpicky. Also, just the trauma of it all, because if one Bran is all the Brandons, then this Bran is Ned, his dad's older brother, because his older brother was Brandon, so Brandon is Brandon, but this guy's Brandon. And Ned's Brandon is the one where the Mad King, made him go fuego. Before I wrap this up, I do want to add, though, that I do think the justification for this particular theory is kind of funny in that it does come from one kind of excerpt from the very first book, A Game of Thrones, and it has to do with Old Nan, and I fucking love Old Nan, so let's talk about that. So at one point, after Bran has fallen down, he's all sad because legs don't work no more. Old Nan is sitting with him, and she's trying to tell him stories and stuff, and he's just not having it. He's I am depression. Why are you you really think a bedtime story is gonna make me happy? My legs don't work, and that's causing me frustration here, okay? And she's like, don't worry, I'll tell you a story, I'll tell you your favorite, I'll tell you this one, which was your favorite. I don't remember which one she thought it was his favorite, okay, chill. Actually, I just looked it up, and it's the one about Bran the Builder, ironically. But Bran is like, Bran the Builder is not my favorite story. But then in his head, Bran is like, okay, I wonder if she's just getting me confused with one of the other Brans, because old Nan has been around here so long that, you know, she knew all of the Brandons. She like originally came to Winterfell to be like a wet nurse for a Brandon, except like they can't remember which one, because it could have been like multiple generations back, because there's so fucking many. But people like latched onto this idea that like old Nan doesn't know which Bran it is, because why? Because they're all the same, apparently. Look, you don't come to this page for sanity. I'm sorry. I'm just the conduit. I just give you the information, okay? So what do you think? Do you think one Bran knows all the Brans? There's one Bran to rule them all? We are mixing media here. Yeah, let me know in the comments. Y'all are cool. Okay, good night.